Okay, my friends. Cheers to 2024. You guys ready for the first lesson of the year? I'm just going to make sure I'm live where I want to be. We're good. Okay, looking good. And I'm going to hit record. All right. Oh, hold on. So today we're going to talk about time mapping because it's 2024 and we want to set the stage for this to be the year that we get it done. Whatever it is for you. I got a lot of big goals. We have one of the things that we offer our community members is it's a mastermind where we meet every week, a small intimate group, and we set intentions for each week. And today we set intentions for the year. And I was actually surprised at what came out, like what I agreed to doing and agreed to intending on. And I'm wondering, and you guys, if you are watching me on Facebook, go ahead and say hi, first of all. And second of all, participate. Like, let me know that you're there. And I'm wondering what your 2024 goals are. I'm guessing that if you're here tonight, one of them is to get your time together, right? So, as we get ready for what we're about to get into, we're going to go for about a half an hour. And I just want to give you tools that have worked for me on this side of the computer. I've been in practice I'm going into my 24th year in practice, which is hard to believe. I actually graduated chiropractic school 24 years ago this month. And one of the tools that I've used every year is like I sit down and I get my time organized for the year. And I want to show you the tool that we use we have an online school. It's called Staffless Practice Academy. And this is one of the most important pieces. I'm first going to show you where it falls into the sphere or the 12-step program of the Staffless Practice Success System. And that's probably the most important thing that I want you to understand. And here's why. So when we get to a point where we're working on our practice and what we want to create for our practice, I think one of the most important things we do is discover or identify where we currently are and what we call in chiropractic, what our current subluxation patterns are. What's currently not working and how can it work better? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Okay, so you guys are looking at what we call the 12-step program of the Staffless Practice Success System. And what I want you to see about here is the first step of success when it comes to running a practice that you love, running a life that you love, is really preparing for success. This is before time. Back up a minute, right? This is step one. And the preparation tools are tools that get you out of overwhelm. They're tools that help you figure out who you want to serve, how you want to serve them, where you want to serve them, all of these things. They're tools that help you with your vision, with your mission, with your statement, all of this stuff. The second thing I want you to know is that our step two is then taking the physical space in the office and preparing it for if you're running a practice without staff, client help yourself areas, the areas in the practice where your clients can actually take on some of the admin burden. I had a call with we did a lot of coach calls today. They were so fun. And one of our clients, he needed a solution. He's newly staffless and he needed a solution for the wait in his practice because he used to have somebody at the front desk who would have conversations with all the people that were waiting, and now there's nobody there. So one of the things that we came up with in his coaching session today was a client help yourself area about waiting room conversations. And it's a simple whiteboard and it's poking your head out and saying, hey, here's our topic of the week, point at the whiteboard, get the conversation going. So that's the physical space of the office. And then we get into step three, which is time. I'm excited to get into this with you because this is a game changer for many people. When it comes to time, in the office, out of the office, we talk a lot about what we call our energy signatures. An energy signature is if I'm at the gym and I'm working out really hard and I'm focused on being strong and I'm focused on my balance and my coordination, that energy signature is the energy signature of strength or balance or coordination or power or fitness. If I'm sitting at my desk and I'm working on my marketing plan and I'm really wanting to get to double my practice or to start attracting more people who I feel prepared and ready to serve, then that's the energy signature that we call diamond time. It's diamond time because it's the time that is the most dollar per hour cost productive. Right? It's the time that you would pay somebody top dollar to do for you. If I'm at my office and I'm watering plants and I'm pulling dead leaves off and I'm emptying the trash and I'm going through the cabinets and throwing out stale food or whatever, all of the tasking stuff in the office, that's just kind of putzing around time, right? And that's going to be like a $20 an hour item or maybe a $15 an hour activity. If I am at home having dinner, we just had dinner and preparing a meal for my family, that's priceless, right? So that's not even quantifiable. That's not time that I touch. So these are all different energy signatures that I want you to start thinking of. And when we try to identify what our, let me also say that if you go to StafflessPractice.com, nope, I'm sorry. If you go to Staffless Goodies, StafflessPractice goodies.com, you're going to get everything that I'm about to show you for $24. This is like a New Year's gift that I'm giving to the community. I'm giving you what's called the top shelf in Staffless Practice. That's actually like the bonus throw in. It's another, I think it's like another $37 or something. I'm also giving you a copy of all of my books. I'm giving you a whole bunch of stuff for that $24. So go there now, stafflessgoodies.com. Okay, so I want you to first identify what your time signatures are. What are the ways that you are already spending your time? Back up a minute and take a peek at how you spent your last week in practice. A lot of us didn't practice over this past week. So the week before that, what were the things that we did? Did we meet with new practice members? Did we clean the office? Did we go shopping for the office? Did we meet with community partners? What were the different things that you did in your week? Or if you want to look forward, you can do a time study in the week going forward. And I'm about to share with you what that looks like. Okay, so first you do this study and you figure out what are the current energy signatures that are already part of your world. Do you prep meals for your family or yourself? Do you work out? Do you meditate? Do you have time in your schedule where nothing at all is scheduled? That's so important to me. And you'll see that I do that for my schedule. Do you have gym time? Do you have date night with your partner? Do you have time that you spend with each kid, or if you're a mom or a dad? Do you have diamond time? Do you have tasking time? Do you have checking email time? What are the important chunks of time that are important to you as your week goes on? So I'm going to go ahead and share with you one more time. I never want to share the wrong screen with you guys. So here we go. So I actually want to go here. Okay. So this is a sheet that I'm going to share with you guys. I'm actually going to throw it where you're watching this video. The first thing I want you to do is your time study, and that's what I was just talking about. So you're going to make a list of the ways that you're already spending your time. For a few days, just write out all the things that you're doing with your time, and then how much time did you actually spend doing those things, and then what's the dollar per hour value on those things. You know what we find is when we do this exercise, I just had someone reach out to me and he's like, I want you to work with my team. I want you to work with my CAs, chiropractic assistants. I want you to make their job more efficient. And the first thing I would do is take a look at how their CAs are spending their time. If their CA their office manager, let's say, did a time study, and most of her time study or his time study was things that were $12 an hour in value or $15 an hour in value. That's not an office manager task. That's more of an office helper task. An office manager task would be something around $25, $30 an hour, maybe even more. My rule of thumb is that there's hands and there's minds. The hands are the people who copy paste, or they're the people who take the garbage out, or they're the people who vacuum, or they're the people who grab the mail and sort it. They're the people who do the things for your practice who don't necessarily need to do critical thinking for what they're doing. They're super important and super helpful, but it's really important to identify that's a hands position. This is a mind position. The mind position are the people, including ourselves. And if you don't have staff, you are the mind position, where it's a higher dollar value per hour item. It's going to be working on the marketing plan. It's going to be, I don't know, meeting with community leaders. It's going to be educating your practice members, creating care plans, doing treatment notes, all of these things. So what I want to see you do, I'm going to go ahead and share again. Go ahead and do a time study for a few days if you haven't already done this part. If you do have staff, have them do the time study. And as with any of the studies that we offer in the academy, you're going to start to see a pattern surface. And the pattern will probably look like, if you are consistent with what we see, you're spending way too much time doing things that are not the best use of your time. The best use of your time are the invaluable items, like having dinner with the family. And for you, the invaluable item might be watering the plants. That might be a really important thing for you to do to connect with the physical space of the office. But filing and taking the trash out and running to the bank, these are not top dollar activities, you guys. And if you are a doctor, if you run your own practice, if you have your own business, these are the kinds of things that we want to think about starting to delegate. Okay, staffless does not mean not having the support that you need. Staffless means less staff doing what is not the best use of their time. Okay, so you did your study. There's a day 1, day 2, day 3. And again, I'm sharing this sheet with you. And then I gave you a few different, here's a sample of a 30-minute schedule, 8, 8:30, 9, 9:30. And I just put client hours and one-on-one hours. This is a sample in-office schedule. How are you spending your time in the office? Do you like to do one-on-one appointments? Do you do group appointments? Are your one-on-one appointments in the morning or the evening? What works better for your brain? What works better for your perfect practice member? These are all really important things. These are all things that are in the top drawer, which is part of that $24 offer. StafflessGoodies.com, $24, you guys. Okay, so that is this. And then I want to go into my sample. So this is a sample of a time study that includes, let's see, what did I include here? Me time, serving time in the office, and then the serving time would have its own time structure, focus time, and family time. I also want to show you guys what this looks like in Jane. I think that would be super helpful. I actually just changed my Jane app time schedule around, and I want to show you how I break it up. This is usually the part of this training that gets the most questions. So if you have questions, drop them. Okay, I'm going to go into Jane and hit shifts. Okay, watch this. Ready? Here's my screen. Okay, so I created time signatures, right? You guys have to remember my practice, my hands-on practice these days is very part-time. So I have in-person, new person, or telehealth, group adjusting, new person or telehealth, group adjusting. It's taken me 2 decades to figure out that I like to end my shift with a group adjusting session. I don't want to end my shift with a new patient. I want to see a new patient in the middle of my shift and in the beginning of my shift, because that's what works best for the way that I want to practice. These are all things that we will coach on. These are all things that we'll figure out together, but this is what your time map will look like inside of Jane. Okay, I want to go back to the sheet, and then here's an empty 30-minute schedule. Is that helpful to you guys? I think that'll help a lot. And here's a 15-minute schedule. Some people like to organize their time map in 15-minute intervals. Some people like to organize their time map in 30-minute intervals. And then I want to give you an example of like what I did for this year. I did it last night. So, and I already shared it in our group, but I want to share it with you again. I have like 3 things called time map in my drive. So just give me a hot minute here. Any questions so far? Go ahead and drop them in our Facebook group and I'll do my best to get to them before I go off. Jody Time 2024. All right, you guys ready to see it? So this is what it looks like when it comes together. And I invite you to make it as color coordinated as possible, like geek out on the different colors that Excel has to offer. And then when I'm done going over my time map with you and what all of these things mean, we're going to do one together. Okay. And I'll actually go ahead and let me go ahead and drop. I just want to close out Jane. I don't want to show you guys my patient load. And then I'm going to share this with you in the Facebook group. Copy link. You're going to have to make a copy of it when I share it with you. And all you need to do is go file, make a copy. Okay. So let me go on over to the Facebook group and just drop this for you. Hi, Carrie. Thanks, love. Hi, Wendy. I wish I was in Denver with you. Okay. I just shared the time map with you guys so you can go through this with me. I'm still sharing. Okay, so here's my time map for 2024. I literally did this last night. So the first thing I put on my time map before anything else is what keeps me going. What keeps me going is CrossFit. What keeps me going is having time in my schedule with nothing at all scheduled. I wake up every Wednesday with nothing scheduled. I do what I'm in the mood to do. I don't schedule massages. I don't schedule chiropractic. I don't schedule having lunch with a friend. I schedule nothing because I need one day a week where nothing is scheduled. It just makes me feel like I can breathe and do the rest of my superhero week, right? So the first thing I put in is no plan, CrossFit on the days that I do CrossFit. And I usually on Wednesdays will go for a run. So I make sure that that's in there too. Okay. And then the second thing I put in is where I have to be. I have to be at my office on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I have to be at my office on Fridays at lunch. And every other week on Saturdays, I have to be at my office. Okay. Then I put in when I meet with you guys, our new clients, people who are interviewing me to work with me as a coach. Those are what we call triage strategy. And the nice thing about this is if I take the time to organize this now, then I can very easily say to my VA, my virtual assistant, look at my time map and go ahead and set up my Calendly according to what my time map says. You get it? You see how it comes together? The Chiro chunks are going to be then further broken down in my JNAP program. And these are all things that we can either do for you or show you how to do. We go live on Mondays. That's what we're doing now. That's why that's there. And then CNC is my coaches. This is when I train with my coaches and I train a lot, right? And then this is when I meet my clients, my coach calls. Team meetings, yeah, because yes, I do have a team of 10 people now. So I need to have times every week where I'm meeting with my team. And then we have a group coaching session masterclass for all of my for all of our students. All the students in our world meet on once a week for a group coaching session. So what I want you to see about this is the only thing that is on Saturday and Sunday is my every other week chiropractic. I really try hard to not touch Saturday, Sunday, and I never, ever, 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 ever touch Wednesdays. Do you see how that goes? So what you're going to do is you're going to go over to the time map that I just dropped in this group. And you're going to make a copy of it and you're going to name it something wonderful. Like, I'm going to say something like Carrie is a rock star 24. That's the name of her time map. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to, so I'll say I'm making Carrie's. Carrie, I'm going to use you as an example, love. I'm going to go ahead and make a copy. And Carrie is a rock star. And Carrie, I'll actually share this with you so that you can have a copy of it. And say Carrie says to me, 30-minute schedule. Say Carrie says, you know, if you have a lot of things happening in the week, and start with a 15-minute schedule, because then 15 minutes is a big deal to you. If you really have a light schedule, then a 30-minute schedule is fine. It doesn't need to be more complicated than that. Now, without going too far into how to format an Excel spreadsheet, and I don't say that in a demeaning way, some people just don't know how to do it, I'm going to give you the basics. So let's say that Carrie knows she has to be at the office on Mondays from 9 to 12. I'm going to make this a pretty color, and I'm going to say office. And then I'm going to take these blocks and I'm going to hit this little merge button right here. And I'm going to make it so that the font is in the center. Okay. So let's say she has to be at the office. I just hit copy on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 9 to 12, and then from 3 to 6. Cool. Okay, so that's office. And let's say that Carrie also is an avid runner, and she likes to go for her runs first thing in the morning. And she might say, you know what, 8 a.m. really isn't early enough for me. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a row above. Maybe I'll insert another row above, and then I'm going to highlight both of these. Oops. And I'm going to insert 2 rows above. And let's say she says, you know what, Jody, I really want to start my day at 7. Okay, so let's say she wants to go for a run Monday through, let's make run like a really fun, vibrant color. There we go. And let's make the font white, right? And I'm going to give Carrie a running schedule. Cool. That could be meditation. That could be tinkering around the house. That could be meal prepping, whatever works for Carrie and her life. And then let's say that Carrie has a partner, a life partner, and she wants to make sure that Sundays are reserved for love. Let's go ahead and make this a really lovely pink. I don't see the color. Ready? I'm going to geek out on you guys a little bit. I'm going to hit custom. And let's find a pink color that I like here. So all I just did, I hit the fill color, and then I hit custom, pick a custom color. And let's say I like this purple up here in my toolbar. There it is. There it is. You see how that works? Isn't that cool? And then let's go ahead and say love. And let's make the love white. And let's watch this. Let's go ahead and drop this down here and down here. Good. Carrie's set for that. And then I'm going to take this whole thing and I'm going to merge it. And let's put that center. So Carrie's time structure is starting to come together. And she might put diamond time in or focus time. And again, the diamond time is the time where the building could be burning down around her. You're on airplane mode, like nobody is bothering you. That's diamond time. That's your time where, so that you're not building your practice, you're not planning for your practice while the kids are running around in the background and you're supposed to be doing something else. You're being very clean with your energy signature for that intention. If I put in my schedule diamond time from 5 to 6 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday, I know that I'm not going to be legit with it, because I know that it's a busy time in my household. So I'm going to make sure that this works for my lifestyle. Does that make sense to you guys? So again, the different energy signatures might look like a workout or self-care, house care, meal prepping, one-on-one time with the people who matter to you. If you're a shopper, you can have shopping time in there. And what I want you to know is that this is a living thing. This can change any minute. So let's say that, let me go back to sharing my screen. Let's say that Carrie wakes up on Monday morning and she's like, geez, I really don't feel good. I think I'm going to have to move my schedule for the week. She can take this chunk and she can drop it in Thursday. So this is a dynamic structure. This is a structure that can change from week to week. That's totally cool. So I promised you guys that I would give you tips for how to stay accountable to your time structure, because we've all been guilty of having all good intentions on New Year's Eve and setting up the perfect time structure and then not sticking with it. So here are things that I've found that are helpful to me. Okay. The first thing is put in my calendar once a month, once a quarter, whatever your cadence is, to revisit this. Because as your life changes, you're going to need to revisit and change your time structure. The second thing is that anybody in your world who holds you accountable, whether you have a coach or a best friend or a spouse or a kid or an office manager, have them check in with you on a regular basis to make sure that you're sticking to your time structure. Give them permission. I love this. Give them permission to call you on it if you're not sticking to it. Okay. The third thing is write yourself a letter today. And in the letter, explain to yourself why this is an important thing for you to do. Why is it important for you to commit to a time structure for your practice, for your life, for your marriage, for your family, whatever it might be? What are the pieces that your world is going to improve on if you get it right with time? Okay. You guys have to remember that time is just an energy. It's not a real thing. It's just a concept, and you can't grab it. You can't touch it. And it's probably the most precious commodity that we have besides health. I'm telling you, you see all my gray hairs here, you guys? I'm telling you on this side of the computer that it goes like that. It goes so fast. And all the babies that I see in my practice, all the new moms that I see in my practice, I say to them like a broken record, you're going to miss this time. You're going to miss these days. You're never going to get these days back. Please enjoy them. I've got moms who come in and they're so stressed out. And I say to them, every minute is precious. And I wish that I could go back and enjoy every minute. So I try my best to do that now. Right. And my hope for you is that you're doing the same thing. So I invite you to write yourself a letter and do it today. And tell yourself why. Write your letter to yourself and tell yourself why this is an important thing for you to commit to. You can write about why all of your goals are an important thing for you to commit to. And then give that letter to your best friend or your partner or your spouse and give them permission to mail you that letter when you need it most. You guys, it's huge. And then one day you're going to go to the mailbox and you're going to be like, damn it, I shouldn't have written that letter. Okay, I'm just going to see if I have any questions. Hi, Rach. I hope that this was super helpful. Hi, Marcy. I'd love to hear more about your 2-hour time chunks. How many visits do you see during those times? I love that. So, I generally, the way that I organize my office hours is, am I still sharing? No, I'm not sharing. I'm a short distance sprinter, and that's the first thing. Marcy, I think you are too. I think we move through the world very similarly, where we can do something really intensely for a couple of hours. And then we're like, okay, I need a break, right? So, in my office, what I'll do is I'll see a lot of people my first like 40 minutes of practice, and then I'll do an initial consultation and switch it up and do a one-on-one in my initial, and then I'll see a lot of people for another 40 minutes. And I have 7 tables going at once, so I can see up to it's in like 7 people every 20 minutes. So do the math. It's like 7, 14, 20, about 20 people an hour. And if I'm there and I have 2 hours, I usually have about an hour and a half of adjusting. And then the rest of the time is for extended appointments, whether it's reevaluations, initial consultations, telehealths, or special needs visit if it's a new mom or someone who moves differently through the world, right? And during the busy adjusting hours, it's go time. That's the time when all of the stuff, let me share this with you guys again. Go time in my office is when all of the stuff that we do in the academy pays off. So prepare for success is, again, getting your shediggles together. Physical space this is probably the most important part of go time. What are the admin needs that my practice members, hi Elle, need from me during go time? It's preparing my energy, my time, and my money for go time. Preparing the energy, the time, and the money of my practice members for go time. Because you guys have to remember, I'm seeing 20 people in like a 45-minute period, a 35-minute period. We go. And then boom, it's done. The office is quiet and I'm with one person and listening. I'm in listening mode. And then we go again, right? So during the go time, what does my office space need so that Sally can reschedule or John can pay or Jen can ask me for a super bill without having to touch me? Protect me, my energy, and my time while I'm in go time. Protect Susie, who's on my table, enjoying her adjustment from me having to have a conversation with Bob about his super bill. None of it needs to happen during adjusting hours because my office is set up for it because I do not have staff in the office. Okay. So that's physical space. Time is what we're doing now. A solid texting program so that I never, ever have to answer my phone ever, unless I want to. Sometimes I want to, and I do. Right. I just actually texted 20 practice members before I did this call saying, hey, Sally, I miss you. I'm thinking of you. Happy New Year. Do you want to come in this week? Here's my Jane link. And I would say 5 of them immediately said yes. It took me maybe 2 minutes to send those texts out. I didn't have to make the calls. Sometimes I pick up the phone because I want to. I want to talk to them. I want them to hear my voice on the other end of the phone. That's texting. The phone system there's a science to it, you guys. And the science to it is what do you need to actually say on the phone so that you can protect your time during go time. The email system is how do you get the emails to them after the shift with all of the things that they're looking for. Those first 6 steps that's the efficiency program in Staffless Practice Academy. That's where we start. If you come into my world and you're like, I want to grow my practice, my first question for you is going to be, do you have these first 6 steps done? And if you do not have the first 6 steps done, somebody was just sharing the story today about how they invested a lot of time and energy and money in a course to learn how to do an online program. And what they recognized when they were doing the online program is that they didn't have the first 6 steps ready. They weren't ready for receiving abundance in a new way, right? Because they weren't organized with their space. They weren't organized with their time. So first 6 steps, then we dive into scaling the practice, organizing it for scaling. Our new client system, what do you do on visit 1, visit 2, the rest of it? Growing from the inside of the practice, growing from the outside of the practice, growing online, and then bringing in wise council members, then bringing in team members who are consultants for the practice. So that's where all of that fits in. Marcy, I know I kind of went off on a tangent. What technique do I do? Aaron, the Dr. Jody technique. I don't know. The more I know, the less I know. Honestly, I really don't know. I've been under network care for 30 some years. I was taught by the late Sue Brown. She was my greatest teacher in chiropractic. I do a lot of structural adjusting that looks like some diversified toggle. I use activator a lot. I do a lot of low force integration work, which is what I attribute from my education with BGI, biogeometric integration. Shameless plug, if you're going to be in the Atlanta area in the weekend of January 28th, Katina Manning and Eric Rubin are going to be teaching BGI osseous. It's how to take the structural adjustment if you're a chiropractor and integrate it through the system. And I'm going to be teaching a lunch break on Sunday on the business of integrate, like how do you integrate a business mind in all of this? Any other questions, guys, for my friends who are with me live? Okay. I hope that was helpful. And here's the thing, like if you do the work, you do the work. And if you do the work, you win, right? So we were talking again today, we have this mastermind is so powerful that we have. If you're not part of a mastermind, maybe set that as a goal for 2024. It's a really great experience to have other people holding you accountable and creating a vision with you. I don't remember my point, it's gone. Oh, I was talking about in the mastermind how what you're focused on is what gets bigger. So if you're focused on creating more for 2024, that's exactly what you're going to do. If you're focused on what you don't have enough of, that's exactly what you're going to do, right? Whether you think you are or you think you're not, you're right. Okay, you guys, stay close. Check out stafflessgoodies.com. $24 for all of my books and so much more. There's so much in that giveaway. You're going to love it. I'm going to keep giving you guys stuff because I can. It's so much fun to do it. Loving you from here. Have a beautiful evening and happy 2024.